importantly, I think it was a good exercise. President Mahama that I have known for more than 3 decades, this shouldn't be anything that would, be something he wouldn't be able to deliver. At least I believe President Mahama as a deputy minister, as a full minister, reporting for on behalf of President Rawlings, coming up, becoming a ranking member of communication in Parliament, how he, managed himself before handing over that portfolio to Haruna Idrisu, my brother. And then President Mahama as a running mate to President Mills, a communicator like I'm sitting directly opposite you. He used to sit on sets and communicate and express himself. So if it comes to expression, you can take away from... There's a name in his closet among his siblings. They call him Mark Antony. Anybody who's read Shakespeare's novels who know who Mark Antony is. And so among his siblings, President Mahama is called a Mark Antony.
Right.
So he's a very good person when it comes to communication. Now, I said style because the exercise held at the Jubilee House yesterday was something that we invited most, not all, most media houses, and I felt they had done well. What really struck me was that when my brother Felix was moderating, he said he was going to cut across everybody. But I thought he's very well on top of his job, I know. But at the point, he had to allow one media entity to carry a whole session until he brought in the people from the northern region who were calling for the region, because I think Media General had to take one whole slot. TV3, Onuya TV, TV3, which there are more people in the house, because if you are cutting across, you have to cut across well, because you want us to believe in the professionalism.
I was equally worried about that, because then you had, TV, radio, I think they are radio and so on. But also, I think it had to do with our sitting arrangement as well. Okay, and...
Larry, my worry is that in our day and age, once you profess a thing, people want you to see how you walk that walk. So for me, if it happens that way, somebody may say it's premeditated, and you have some selective, because people had already started accusing you of selecting certain media houses. Because some media houses had not been invited, and they were already complaining. So if these things happen, but like I said,
no, it wasn't about
that's why
it wasn't about invitation actually. So they tell you that I called Felix to say that hey, what's happening? I needed to attend. So then he told me that I could walk in and then I could get that accreditation. Now later on, I had a call from Primpack. That's the Private Newspapers Association, and that
that's how he did the invitations. GJ Primpack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they are the ones who extended the invitation to. So I even heard the GJ secretary.
So, beautiful. Larry, you understand my point. That's why I said it's a style. Your style of leadership is how we see things. People may be used to a different style. So when people are critiquing, it is only good for us to appreciate people's concerns because of the kind of dispensation we are in. So I saw that people had concerns. And genuinely, when people have concerns, you have to open your ears to them and listen to them, so that you are not accused of being skewing your actions. Then the content was delivered. I took my time to really sit back, and also I listened to a different network who assembled colleagues to also do a review immediately post the exercise. And I was listening to a couple of them. And one of the things that struck me was, more often than not, I don't know when you become a public servant and you are Christian, a politician, I don't know how some media people expect you to behave. And you are seen as, well, forgive my language, sometimes people think politicians are not part of the society that we live in. And I was happy when Larry was talking about the depth of knowledge of the president in his neighborhood. You can't be a member of parliament, a good one of your constituency, and wouldn't know every nook and cranny of that constituency. Then you are not a member of parliament for that particular constituency. Because everybody within that space wants to have a bite of you. More or less, when you graduate into higher offices, everybody expects to see you around. President Mahama, as a former assembly member, graduating to become a second-time president of this country, nobody knows Ghana better than him. And we have to agree, since he became a running mate in 2008, he's been on the road in this country. He knows everywhere. So I'm happy he demonstrated that. That added to my knowledge of using experience as a yardstick to excel. And so I give that to him. I think a question came from a media house in relating to Galamsey. And they structured it in relation to Water Resources Commission and then how our economy is benefiting from our local production. I say this because in one of the answers, President Mahama gave us the appreciation because he was asked if he was going to go on a capital market. And he said, no, for now we are going to look within. And whoever thought that we could manage our numbers this way without going out for external support, i.e. for loans.
He says we've survived without borrowing, so there's no need to return quickly to the capital market.
That was a very good answer. And then additionally, he was laying emphasis on homegrown policies. And so there comes the much touted gold buying policy, which is being used to shore up our currency and make our economy stable. And the source of that resource then comes back into the same menace we've been discussing over the years, Galamsey. So then you ask yourself, what measures are we putting in place to clean the place? The president talked about responsible mining cooperatives, which is going to be used to help alleviate some of these things. So I sat back and I asked myself, I'm so happy I'm hearing Mr. President speak this way and telling the people the reality. So the previous administration, when we were speaking to the issues, we're not speaking to the issues as if we had just dropped from some planet, but that was the reality. That's the conditions we've come to meet. And if you work with the conditions, we should all agree. For me, it's not for political expedience. I won't sit here and tell me that I know that you are doing this because of political expediency. If you would want that from me, I'll tell you, then all that I saw yesterday was politics. That is if I want to go below the belt and not appreciate and speak like a citizen who understands his community and society. So this is how Christian these things. And so let us be careful when we speak and we talk about our fellows. This is Ghana. We are not 40 million. We are less than 40 million a population. And so when we are assessing our own country, let's be honest to the issues so that when our backs are against the wall, people would appreciate what we are doing. I say this across the aisle so that all of us, as we do our basic work of trying to express our ideas, communicate our plans, we do so, be mindful that there is a day of reckoning, that when you are pushed, you have nothing to say. For instance, when the president gave reasons why we can't have a state of emergency, from my experience, there's no way we can declare a state of emergency. It comes with several considerations. As the commander-in-chief of our armed forces, if you are mindful, Ni will tell you, when we used to live in this country, and all we knew and all we had was the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Any person who seized a Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and made an announcement that our state authority is destabilized was the new leader and the new voice of our country. And so such actions, when we were having our consultative assembly at the time, in preparation to the dispensation we are in today, people were mindful when certain enactments were effected in those discussions. I say this to the point that you can't just say, declare a state of emergency, and then out of the blue, go and have a state of emergency. Today, the president is telling us that there are a lot of options. So when the previous administration was talking about options, we didn't know about options. But my joy is that the chickens have come home to roast. We are facing the music ourselves.
Yeah.
And it is good that as a people, we know what is eating us up as a people. I, as a former appointee, understands that exercise, in as much as we benefit of it, it is also destroying our society. And I'm not surprised that turbidity levels are so high. And interestingly, when I said somewhere else the other day that the people who have been accused that from the administration's political party of meddling in Galamsey, I just laughed when Mr. President spoke. And I could see there's no premium on the matter. Because if there is any truth in what has been alleged, we will attend to it. To paraphrase the president, it tells me that there's nothing. It was just, for my language, a rhetoric. Of course.
You think so?
I believe so. I don't need to think so. I am not the one who came to accuse anybody.
The President Attorney General will ask for a member of the party to be investigated without...
Dominic is my brother, as you know. I don't need to sit here and just talk about him in a way. It won't pay me anything. But the matter has been given to Yoko to investigate. We've been in government. I've been in government before. And there are several ways, forgive my language, of spinning a matter. And so when you
So you are spinning now?
It is up to who.
No, they span during their time. So he suspects that we are also spinning now.
Beautifully, I like these interjections.
Which of them? His?
From all of you. At a point, you took the wind out of my sail and you danced in town so much. It's doing similarly to me.
No.
I'll come again. You see, the joy of it is all that we want the betterment of Ghana.
Right.
Yeah.
And so all that we do, let us be candid and just push and make Ghana a good country for everybody to live in. That is the country I know. And that's the country I love. So when I speak, it is not every person in my political party who may believe in the way I present my issues. Likewise, from other places. But the good news is that we are in a dispensation where people are permitted and are allowed to also speak their mind. And then we gather the best out of it. This is how we can build our country. And for me, this is the country that I pray that everybody thinks towards and work towards. If we become too political and too entrenched and decide on certain things, we go nowhere.
Very well.